Today I want to talk about the big P word, procrastination, the elephant in the room. And I want to talk about procrastination because this is probably like one of the biggest commonalities that every human being can relate to each other with, procrastination. And what I want to do is I want to kind of break down where it's coming from, what it is, how can we use it to our advantage so that it's not the thing that is stopping us. It's not the thing that is stalling our results because we can't do something or we didn't do something, right? We know what we need to do, but for some reason we just don't do it. So I want to get rid of that gap today, okay? So, procrastination has a pretty negative connotation with it. It's not really a good thing to have. Nobody likes to admit it because it's kind of like it's a secret shame that we carry. Only you know the extent to which you procrastinate and make excuses. Only you will ever know that because you're the one that lives it and you know what's happening up here in your mind. And so this is something that only you hold, only you carry. It's a burden you carry, the amount of procrastination you do. So it's a secret shame we carry around, right? Of all these shortcomings, all these things you did that you shouldn't have, or all the things you didn't do that you should have, right? So it's a secret shame we carry around. It has this negative aura around it, and it just reminds us of all of our shortcomings and where we fall short and what we just can't seem to do. And so it is very negative, but at the same time, let's spin it so we can actually use it towards our advantage, okay? Because we could sit here all day and talk about how awful of a person you are for procrastinating this and this and this and this, but it doesn't get us anywhere, right? We use our procrastination as this subconscious judging tool, right? We judge ourselves negatively based on our performance in a day, week, month. And that's how we judge ourselves. And that's usually how we judge our self-worth, by our actions or inactions. And that's guided by whether or not we procrastinate of doing what we should be doing. So Dan Sullivan actually brought this kind of concept to my attention, and I think it's really cool and I want to share it with you. So with all the energy we spend procrastinating and making excuses, imagine if we took all of that energy, all of the time we put into doing something else, into distracting ourselves. Imagine if we took all of that and channeled it in the right place. Imagine how it would throw you forward, right? If we just channeled it in the right direction, how powerful could you be? How unstoppable could you be? Right? So procrastination is not this negative thing. It is actually just energy that's not being used in the right way. It's this potential and trapped energy that we need to release. Does that make sense so far? So we're not going to look at it as this negative thing that points out our shortcomings. We're going to look at it as this thing that's sitting underneath the surface, this potential trapped energy that we are trying to unlock and guide in the right direction, okay? And when it comes to procrastination, the best way to do that is through the truth. The truth will set you free. We've heard that phrase before, haven't we? The truth will set you free. So we have to be truthful about our procrastinations. We have to face them head on, really. So let's talk about how we can do that. Okay, so let's talk about tactfully how we can do this so we can decrease our procrastinations and use it in a positive way. So there are red flags. So how do we know if we're procrastinating? So if we use the word should or shouldn't, right? When you hear yourself say those words, automatically you are about to procrastinate or you already procrastinated. I should, but you haven't. Or I shouldn't have and I haven't stopped, right? Who said that before? Who's even said that today? I should have done blank or I shouldn't have done blank. Whenever you hear the word should or shouldn't, red flag, it means you procrastinated, okay? And Dan Sullivan, the guy that I got this concept off of, he actually calls the should and the shouldn't a guilt word. It's a guilt word. Why? Because it actually covers our guilt, right? When we say I should have done blank, it's actually just a softer way of saying I didn't do blank, right? You didn't do it, but you keep telling yourself, oh, I should have done it. It sounds softer and it makes us feel less bad for not doing it, right? And so even the way that we say our procrastinations makes us hide behind them and not face them, okay? So first step is realizing when they're coming about, and that's what the should or shouldn't. And the second thing is realizing the words that we're using is trying to soften the blow of the reality of the procrastination, which doesn't help anybody. So we didn't say should or shouldn't, we say did and don't. Okay? Now, there are two areas in which you procrastinate. Okay? It is in your personal life or your work life, right? We procrastinated in both. Maybe you're inclined to procrastinate in one way more than the other, depending on what job you have or how crazy your household is. But those are the two areas, right? So once we break it down like that, it becomes very simple because each procrastination only falls under one category of two. And so that's where we start looking at your procrastinations. That's how we can start to break them down, okay? Like, so what exactly are the excuses getting in your way? What exactly are you not doing that you should be doing, or what are you still doing that you know you shouldn't be doing? So let's break that down. Now, here's the one way that you can guarantee you'll never procrastinate again. Are you ready? If you never want to procrastinate again, never have another goal. Stop making goals. Every single person on this planet who has a goal will procrastinate towards that goal. Even the most highest level, highest functioning CEOs, most powerful people you can think of, procrastinate to their goal, just at different levels. Okay, so let that be, a kind of a calming statement. Everybody procrastinates. You cannot get rid of it, and the goal is not to get rid of it. Okay, you don't want to get rid of it, and I'll explain why shortly. But if you want to stop procrastinating, just stop having goals. But does any woman on this call want to stop having goals? No. That's what gives life purpose. If you want to live a purposeless life, you'll also live a procrastination-free life. But you can't have one without the other. Okay? So, having said that, okay, procrastination is that stored energy. And by pinpointing our procrastination, we now know where our energy needs to be directed, okay? Once we know where it needs to be directed, then we go to the 4 C's to find the path we're going to direct that energy, okay? The 4 C's. And the 4 C's are this: confidence, capability, commitment, and courage, okay? You need to have your finger on all of these 4 things if you're going to take this procrastination and turn it into positive energy. Okay, so that's the first thing you need. And I want you to think about, some different things and different ways that you procrastinate in. Okay, how does it make you feel when you don't get it done? You're upset, you feel flustered, you're overwhelmed, you don't know why you can't kick yourself in the butt to do it, right? And it's actually the opposite of the 4 C's, what you feel, right? You don't feel confident, you don't feel capable, you're definitely not committed to anything, and you don't have the courage to take the risk, to push yourself to do it, right? And so when you're in this no man's land, which you are right now, so right now with every single one of your procrastinations, you are in no man's land. You're lacking confidence, capability, commitment, and courage, okay? That's the fact. And when you have those, you lack clarity. And then the procrastination owns you, and the procrastination piles up. And that's how we end up so overweight. Instead of just 5-10 pounds, catch it and lose the weight. It piles on because our procrastination, we don't bring it down, boil it down into that clarity with the 4 C's. Okay, so now let's practically tackle that. We ready? So I want you to take a second, and I want you to write out 5 areas or 5 things that you're procrastinating on right now. So you can write it in the comments, you can type it on your phone, you can write it on a piece of paper. 5 things, not 4, not 6, 5 areas that you know you are procrastinating, small or big, right? And they'll either fall into your work life or your personal life. So go think, am I procrastinating in work? Where? Write it down. Am I procrastinating personally? Where? Right? Work can be, am I not doing a project? Personally could be, am I avoiding a conversation? Am I avoiding renovating the bathroom, whatever that is. So 5 things you're procrastinating with, okay? Then when you have those 5 things, I want you to circle the top 3. So the top 3 that if you were to do immediately, you'd feel relief, right? So procrastinating could be, doing my laundry on time. It could be little silly things like that too. Not throwing out the garbage in my house. right? Not reorganizing my pantry, not having an uncomfortable conversation with a friend. So what are the top 3 procrastinations of those 5 that if you were to finish, you would feel this weight lifted off of you, okay? And then when you circled those 3, what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, why are you procrastinating? So write the reason really quickly beside those 3. So why are you procrastinating? Is it too hard? Are you being lazy? Are you afraid of confrontation? Do you not have the tools? What is the reason that you think you're procrastinating from doing that? What do you think you're doing? Or why you're procrastinating? Just a quick little reason. We'll go in depth in a little bit. And then of those 3 things, I want you to pick the number 1. So go to the number 1 that you think is most important. Most important. Most important. Okay, now circle that. Now, we're going to do our 4 C's on that one procrastination. So like I said before, so we're all on the same page. When you find yourself procrastinating to do something, that is a gift. That is the universe telling you exactly where you should focus your energy. It's not the universe telling you where your shortcomings are. So you take this procrastination, that's where your energy should be focused. And now we're going to go into the 4 C's, and that's going to give us the path of where we put this energy. So when we break down the 4 C's, we start with commitment and courage. Okay, so on that procrastination that you just circled, the number 1 you chose, what is the commitment you can make to yourself about that one thing? Can you put a timeline to it? Can you commit a certain amount of days or hours to it? How can you add numbers to quantify it? Okay, to make it a commitment instead of just make it a thing that you do or don't do. Okay, so make that commitment to yourself. Has to be realistic, whatever that is. Are you going to get something done by X date? Are you going to commit to doing it once a week? Whatever that thing is, put a commitment to it that you can keep going forward, okay? That's your commitment, the one of the 4 C's. Now, next C, this is courage, okay? And how we figure out courage is this. What are you afraid of? Why are you not doing the thing? So what, if you do that thing, what are you afraid of happening or not happening? Are you afraid of embarrassing yourself? Are you afraid of looking bad in front of someone? Are you afraid of not being good enough? Are you afraid of hurting yourself? Are you afraid of taking a risk? What is that courage aspect, right? So put the fear, what are you afraid of in association to that, okay? And then your courage is knowing that fear, but still doing it anyway. So we have to know the fear to know that we still have to keep moving past it, okay? So you got your commitment, you got your courage. Then we go to the 3rd C. This is your capability, okay, ladies? So that one thing you circle, what skills do you need to do it, to push yourself to do it? Where are you lacking, or are you even lacking? Do you have the skills? So what is the skill set or the things that you need to start that thing you are procrastinating? What is it? So you feel capable of doing it. So you feel prepared to do it, okay? And then the last C is your confidence, okay? So when you tackle this procrastination, when you tackle it, what are you going to be proud of? What is it giving you confidence in yourself about? So what's that confidence? So when you do it, it's going to give you what? It's going to make you feel what? You're going to be proud of what? So what is that? Are you proud that you followed through? Are you proud that you learned a new skill? Are you proud that you can do whatever you put your mind to? Whatever it is, whatever that is, right? Because a lot of times we wait to be confident in something to do something, right? But confidence is the last thing that comes. You have to do it first to gain the experience, to then have the confidence, the unwavering confidence. Okay, ladies? So that's the process. And so anytime you find yourself avoiding something, even if it's as simple as pushing off a workout, right? We're procrastinating working out, right? Even if it's you find yourself pushing off it to the next day, or pushing it, you planned in the morning, you're pushing it till nighttime. You break out the 4 C's. So you say, what is a minimum commitment I can make to myself for this procrastination? What is the fear of doing this or not doing it? What do I need to be capable of doing this? And once I complete it, what am I going to be confident in? What's it going to give me? And if you sit down and you do that for every single thing that you are procrastinating to do, or every single thing you're making an excuse for yourself, or self-sabotaging yourself, you've now channeled the energy, and now you have a path. You have your commitment, and you know what the fear is holding you back. Okay, so what you need to be doing every night, really quickly, it takes about 1 minute before you go to bed. You write down, okay, did I get everything I needed to get done today? If not, what did I procrastinate on? And then if you procrastinated on something, you go through your 4 C's, you write it down, you go to bed, you wake up, you read your 4 C's, and you act on them. That's it, ladies. And so this takes a lot of pressure off of you, right? It's not about you not doing something. It's not about you having these shortcomings and being this undisciplined person that just can't seem to do what needs to get done. That's not what it's about. It's about you taking that feeling and just channeling the energy somewhere else. Because you're going to feel something regardless. Take it and use it as fuel, right? You're going to feel something regardless towards this procrastination. So take it and use it as fuel to keep pushing you forward. Okay, ladies? And I want to leave you with one quote, and I love this quote, and I think this sums up Fit Queens perfectly. And the quote is, fear is wetting your pants. Courage is doing what needs to get done with wet pants. How awesome is that? You're allowed to be afraid. You're allowed to have fears. You're allowed to be lazy. You're allowed to have shortcomings. But you have to talk them through. You have to list them to yourself. You have to be aware of them. And you still have to keep trying despite how strong those things feel or how strong they're trying to push you off track. Okay, ladies? So for anybody who struggles with procrastination or excuses or self-sabotaging or not feeling good enough or always falling short or doubting yourself or thinking you're never going to reach your goal, if you have these negative feelings, turn it around. Find your 4 C's. Get to the root cause. And you can wet your pants along the way, but you better keep working in those wet pants. That's the moral of the story. Okay, ladies? So really quickly, I want to know your takeaways in the comments. What did we learn? What are we going to use going forward? Did we pinpoint a procrastination? Did we build a game plan for one of your procrastinations? How do we feel? Where are we right now? Let me know in the comments. Really good little exercise. It really does speed things up because procrastinations, if you ignore them, they'll always be ignored. Keep working even when I get wet pants. I love it. Not going to give up. Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Because ladies, we all have something that we hate doing. We all do. Whether that's working out, whether we just hate sweating, or whether it's doing the damn laundry or doing the damn dishes or whatever it is. We all have one thing we hate to do, right? And if we keep procrastinating it and we don't realize why we're procrastinating, it will never get done. We just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, right? People who hate cleaning their house, what happens? It's a shit show. And when they do finally have to clean it, because company's probably coming over, it takes hours and unnecessary work because they kept putting it off. Right, ladies? So your health, your lifestyle, your habits, don't treat them like someone who hates cleaning their house. Clean your house. Clean your mind out regularly. You have to get out what's up there on paper. Otherwise, it will never be known. It will grow. It will be overwhelming, and you'll never get around to it because something else will pop up that's easier and that distracts you. Okay, so really value those 4 C's: commitment, capability, courage, and confidence. Okay, find those things, list those things for everything that you find it hard to get yourself to do or hard to make automatic in your life. Okay, and when you do that, it breaks it down for you and you can see what's really going on and you stop procrastinating, or you at least know what's driving the procrastination instead of feeling like you're a victim of it. Like you're just a horrible person because for some reason I can't make myself do this, right? And that's what the whole world suffers from. We know what to do, we just don't do it, right? For the most part, you know everything you need to know, but why don't we keep doing it? And that's because we let the procrastination seem bigger than it is. We let the excuses seem way bigger than it is. But when you write them out like that, you're like, oh, that's it? That's what I'm afraid of? Well, I've had worse. I'm sure we've all had worse. But you have to stare at it. Otherwise, it will win. Okay, ladies? So that's what I need you to do. Okay, I need you to write out your procrastinations, whatever that may be. Guaranteed they are there. Guaranteed. Small or really big, right? If this is not resonating with you right now, that means you have very small, discrete procrastinations, which actually could be dangerous long term. Or if you're like me, you know, I should be in Procrastinators Anonymous. They're very obvious, and you know what you're doing. So then you can pinpoint that. But either way, they're there. You have to know they're there. You have to break them down. And it's not a bad thing, okay? Don't beat yourself up for procrastinating. Beat yourself up for not finding your 4 C's. That's the problem. That's laziness right there. Now you know. If you're like, man, I'm so lazy. Man, why can't I just do this? Be like, oh, you know what I can do? You know, it doesn't take much energy or much time finding my 4 C's. You can't procrastinate the 4 C's. It takes 2 seconds. So you do that, you find your path of where you want to direct that potential energy that's been stored up in your procrastination, and then you roll with it. And then your pants may be wet, but you deal with it. All right, ladies? So thank you for joining me. That is my little blurb today for all my procrastinators out there. I love you. I feel your pain. I know we judge ourselves pretty hard for all of our shortcomings, but you are here. You now have a tool to outsmart them and use them for your own good. So have peace of mind with that and go forward knowing you are good enough. You are worthy. You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything you're capable of right now. And that's you should be very proud of yourself. That's all you can ever ask of yourself. Okay, ladies, I love you. Enjoy your night, and I will see you inside the Facebook group, everybody.